What's up, people? Today we're going to review the second episode of One Piece. The title of that is The Great Swordsman Appears, Pirate Hunter Roronoa Zoro. So this is the first proper appearance of Zoro. He made a cameo in the first episode. So the first air date was on November 17th, 1999. The Four Kids dub aired on September 25th, 2004, and the Funimation dub was on a DVD and it was released May 27th, 2008. And I'm going to give the synopsis first before I do my opinion. If you want me to do the opinion before the synopsis, just let me know in the comments. So, if you guys already watched the show, you can just watch the first part and then just, exit the video. Just let me know in the comments if you want me to do that. And also let me know if you want me to review anything in particular, like any show or movie in particular. So the synopsis is Luffy and Kobe arrive at Shell's Town, a town where a marine base is stationed. They find their target, Roronoa Zoro, crucified at the base. Well, his hands aren't crucified. It's like his arms are kind of wrapped up, but a small girl, Rika, sneaks into the base to offer Zoro a food called onigiri. And onigiri is like a Japanese food, and they're like rice balls. But she's stopped by a new character named Helmeppo, who's in his first appearance as a villain, and he's a snobbish man with like a weird haircut who destroys the rice ball. But Zoro eats the dirt stained rice anyway. Cause I think one, cause he's hungry, and two, cause it's out of respect for the girl, cause the girl cooked that for him. And outside the Marine base, Rika reveals that the town is run by the tyrannical Captain Morgan, who allows his son, Helmeppo, to regularly abuse the citizens. One day, Helmeppo brought a hostile wolf into a bar, which attacked the customers and ate their food. When Zoro attacked Helmeppo for his cruelty, Helmeppo threatens to execute all the customers in the bar unless Zoro turns himself into the Marine. So this is a flashback. And where he gets crucified for 1 month. He has to spend 1 month without any food or water, like tied up. And later, Helmeppo reveals that he intends to execute Zoro, and he's not going to honor the deal that he said to Zoro, so he's going to kill him. And Luffy gets really pissed off about that, so he assaults Helmeppo for his dishonesty, then heads towards the Marine base to locate Zoro's confiscated katanas. From here on, Luffy wants Zoro to be part of his crew. As Morgan orders his men to erect a large statue of himself on the base's rooftop, Luffy launches himself toward the rooftop, accidentally destroying the statue in the process. Luffy grabs Helmeppo and flees, searching the building and locating the katanas. And meanwhile, Nami, who is the girl last episode who robbed the Alvida pirate ship, and she's still unnamed, she hasn't been introduced formally yet. She also infiltrates the Marine base to steal its goods. And meanwhile, Kobe attempts to free Zoro from the cross, but is spotted by Morgan, who orders his men to open fire on them both. And they're stopped by Luffy, who deflects the bullets with his rubber body. Like, the bullets go into him and then just explode outward. Here are the differences from the manga. In the manga, there's a very minor change. Luffy and Kobe eat in the restaurant, where they cause a panic while talking about Zoro. In the episode, Luffy buys a pear on the streets, and he asks the vendor whether he knows something about Zoro. and then everybody around him like freaks out. And in the manga, there's a more significant change. Zoro asks Luffy and Koby to untie him upon first seeing them, even offering to share his next bounty with them, though it is not clear how serious he is. In the anime, he immediately tells the two to leave. Now, this was done probably because Zoro didn't would likely not trust Luffy right away because he's a pirate and he's supposed to be a pirate hunter, but Zoro doesn't really have any vendetta against pirates. He only does the bounty hunting to get money and probably just to get stronger with his sword skills. Just use them like practically. I think that's the reason. He never really had any vendetta against pirates, and that's shown more in the next episode. In the manga, Zoro killed Helmeppo's wolf with his sword, but in the anime, he just knocks it out with a chair. I'm guessing they did that just to keep it more PG, like, because it's animal cruelty or whatever. But, Nami, another difference, Nami appears early again compared to the manga. There's one scene where she's, like, in the restaurant, like, drinking, wine or something. And then there's another scene where she breaks into the base. And in the manga, the fight between Luffy and Helmeppo took place outside. But in the anime, it took place in a restaurant. I'm not sure why they changed that. Uh, Rika, who is Rika's mother, so Rika's the girl who gave Zoro the rice balls, is not a bartender in the anime. She's just, I guess she's just a random civilian. After Luffy hits Helmeppo, Rika takes Rika back into their home. I think this may have been done because it might have made her too similar to another character who appears later on. I think in episode 4. But I don't really know. It's kind of just a random thing they did, very minor. And in the manga, Koby gets shot while trying to untie Zoro. And in the anime, this doesn't happen for some reason. And here's some notes. So despite Zoro later being known for his poor directional deduction skills, so he always gets confused about where to go when people tell him. That's like a trope about his personality. In this episode, he shows Luffy the correct way to the base when Luffy was headed in the opposite direction. And the other thing is that Zoro has a brief flashback to when he was a kid who's sparring with a girl, and he's saying in a monologue that he kept a promise to her, and that girl's name is Kuina, and she becomes important to Zoro's backstory in a few episodes. So she isn't like properly introduced right away. There's a flashback episode that happens later on. So here's my opinion on the episode. I really like Luffy and Koby's dynamic. I find that they kind of play off each other. Like Koby's more serious and like he's really anxious, and then Luffy's like very like carefree, and he just does whatever he thinks is right, I guess. And Zoro is someone who, although he has the reputation of being fierce, he's a really good person and loyal. He's loyal to the people that help him. And I remember when I first saw this episode, I was kind of shocked when like Zoro ate like the dirty rice ball on the ground, like when Luffy gave it to him. But yeah, it just shows like, well, he's starving, and also he respects the girl for helping him. And Captain Morgan, I like slightly better than Alvida, but she's still. I mean, he's still like a minor villain. Um, the next major villain that gets introduced is probably everybody, like a lot of people's favorite villain. He's not my personal favorite villain, but in the next arc, the main villain in that arc is going to be a very important character. But this, yeah, Captain Morgan, he's very dislikable because he's very full of himself, and he attacks his own soldier. Like he attacks his own son, like he assaults his son, and he's just a bad person. Like I find well, I don't know if he's probably worse than Alvida because at least Alvida doesn't pretend. Well, she sort of pretends to be like perfect or whatever, but I mean she's a pirate, and Captain Morgan, like, he abuses his authority as a Marine. And, yeah, so he's the first bad Marine that gets introduced in the show. And Helmeppo is also very unlikable. Like he orders the guy to throw the girl outside, and that. Well, he does actually say he doesn't want to kill the girl. He implies he doesn't want to kill her. And Morgan's willing to do that because he's really bad. And I prefer Nami's appearance here compared to the previous episode because there's some meaning behind why she's breaking into the military base, and that gets explained in a later episode. And I probably give this episode a 5 out of 5 because I found it was very entertaining, and yeah, there's nothing really wrong with it. Yeah, like there's no really problems with it. There's some episodes I'll rank lower, like some of the filler ones. I don't really. Some of them I don't like. I'm not really a fan of. Sometimes I'm a fan of filler. I do watch it. I do try to watch like when I'm watching an anime. Usually I watch the filler. But yeah. Sometimes so it can be good and bad. It's less of a thing nowadays. Filler in anime. But anyway, you guys can tell me your thoughts in the comments about the episode or the show or whatever thoughts you have. I hope you guys are having a good day. Um, if you guys can like, comment, and subscribe, that'd be appreciated. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys later.